Dimitri, let me turn to you. China has announced that it will not build any new coal-fired power projects abroad. But there are so many questions once this announcement is made, right? What are you going to do with the existing coal-fired power plants along the BRI? Is this go too ambitious, perhaps? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that China's decision to build no new coal plants overseas has huge implications for the global climate transition. In the years before President Xi's announcement, some estimated that all of the coal plants that have been announced for the Belt and Road, if all of them would have been built, we might see the world rising by 2.7 degrees temperature increase by the end of this century. If you can imagine 2.7 degrees, that really would be catastrophic. And that now that China has decided not to build coal plants overseas anymore, all the other investors are also hesitant to finance them. And so I personally believe that this announcement is actually the best news for the climate since the Paris Agreement.
All right, Kevin, the same question. How realistic do you think it is, for China not to build or committing itself not to build any more coal-fired power projects abroad?
It's very realistic. We're already starting to see it. If all the overseas coal plants with Chinese participation and under construction and planning are canceled, we calculate that annual carbon emissions will reduce by about 594 million tons, which is roughly equal to what Canada emits on an annual basis. But what's most exemplary about China's policy is not only that it will ban coal, but that it will increase financing in low carbon development across the world. This is the central task of our time, and China's policy largely leapfrogs what the West is doing. Western governments and Western institutions are also banning coal and banning oil and banning gas overseas, but they're also not committing to transferring to new low carbon development. So China is really poised to be a leader here and has enormous financing capacity. And as we heard earlier, technological superiority in solar, wind, and electric vehicles that could really help the diffusion of low carbon development across the world.